Now,
So
there was a question. Go ahead.
yeah, I was gonna say to that point. I'm real quick for you. I know you got to go. So I want to play what Kirby said, so you can get your quick thoughts on what he said.
That sound like people need to see what happened tonight, and they need to fix this. It needs to be fixed. It's very unfortunate that they, who has a good football team and a good football program, are in the position they're in. Everybody can say it's their fault, it's not their own problem. All right? Everybody can say that we had our guys and they didn't have their guys. I can listen to all of that. But college football has got to decide what they want. And I know things are changing. And I think things are going to change next year. You know what? There's going to still be bowl games outside of those. People got to decide what they want and what they really want to get out of it. Because it's really unfortunate for those kids on that sideline that had to play in that game that didn't have their full arsenal. It affected the game 100%.
You want my 2 cents on that?
What's your 2 cents? And Chris got something for you as well. And then you can head out.
Well, I got to be honest. I heard something today. I agree with Kirby, but I heard something today that made me take a step back and think. Sometimes we get really set in our way of thinking just because that's where we are. Not because we're horrible people, but just because we, but then every now and again you have something to give you take a step back. And somebody said, and it was the local sports franchise, the guy said, we have to stop beating up these kids for these decisions that they make, because the number one reason any of these guys are in school is to try and get to the league. If they get hurt, if they blah, 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 they mess up their chances of getting in the league. Now, to be completely honest, they could get hurt in game one just as easy as they can get hurt in the bowl game. I'm 100% cognizant. But the thing he said that nailed that put the nail in the shipping container was that these schools have taken advantage of these kids since somebody said, hey, we can make a lot of money off of this. And now these kids are taking advantage of the opportunities given to them to make the money and do things like that. Now, I know that's with the NIL, but as far as the kids just like opting out just because they don't want to play, I do think they need to maybe come up with some kind of incentive so that these kids will play. Because, I mean, I'm pretty sure after about halfway through the second quarter, there was nobody watching that game but dog fans. And even half of them, like me, were half watching. They had it on, but they were wandering around the house.
Right.
So I think if they come up with some kind of incentive to make it worth these kids while to play, that's what these kids are about.
12-team tournament.
Huh?
12-team tournament.
Well, there's that. Well, there is that. But then next year it'll be the 13 and 14 teams that are crying, oh, we got shafted, and then they're going to opt out of playing in the game. So I do believe I'm with Kirby. The NCAA, nobody's more at fault than the NCAA, because money's been changing hands for a long time. It just every so often they jump up and smack somebody on the hand and make an example, and then they would roll back in their cave. If the NCAA had gotten ahead of this, instead of just saying, let the Supreme Court decide, and then the Supreme Court decided, and now here we are in year 2. Mind you, this is only year 2 of NIL. This is only year 2 of NIL. Now you got kids just say, I don't want to play here this year. I'm going to go play over here because they got 1.5. I'm making one here. I got 1.5. I'm going over here. Kids are opting out. That kind of thing. Quinn Ewers, perfect example. Quinn Ewers went to Ohio State, got $1 million bag, and then said, thanks a bunch. I'm going to play for Texas. So if the
he knew he wasn't going to start.
Right. But if the NCAA had taken control of this and gotten in front of it, maybe we wouldn't be having this. Maybe they could have come up with something, but they don't want to do the work. Anyway,
they didn't want this to come out. They were doing it all hush hush and holding this stuff over people. Now all of a sudden,
right? Because and that was the thing that kept the kids in place, because they were like, well, if I leave, then I lose. If I tell somebody, I lose the scholarship. And you see what they did? Made a big example of Reggie Bush. Get that man his Heisman Trophy back, doggone it. Man out here hawking Wendy's hamburgers 12 years after he played it down in the NFL, but that's a different story for a different day.